Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Well, good morning to you, Dennis. Mild range in the S&Ps last night. Didn't manage to make a new high for the move, but currently trading at yesterday's high, 1345.75.
Kind of a quiet morning. We do have some earnings, a little bit more than yesterday. Time Warner reporting, a couple others reporting. We'll talk about those on the market movers, McDonald's same store sales. So we have a little bit more action today, Joel.
Okay, the current high, Globex high, stands at 1348 and a quarter. Really not a good number up there for you folks, except it's the high so far. If that stands as the high of the day, we have a downside target of 1333.50. The current low stands at 1342.50. If that stands as the high side target of 1357 and a quarter. Currently trading mid-range on yesterday's high here yesterday, so let's use this 1340. Yeah. Moving on to the Big Ten, strong day for ExxonMobil yesterday, rallying up to 86.44 and closing at 86.34. That stock has gone ex-dividend today, so it's really not down 36 cents. As with most stocks, when they go ex-dividend, people that were holding on or particularly bought the stock going into the dividend, many times will look out to get out at the market 86.34. So good resistance at the close and also Tuesday's high. Coming back on the downside, very good support at Tuesday's low at 84.94.
Stock sold off in the first 20 minutes of the day, and then after 10 o'clock just started going to rally mode as those people like to buy it ahead of that dividend, Joel. So there is a little bit of air because I had a $1.50 move almost up here from where it was trading there just around 10 o'clock. So 86.34 is where it had closed on Friday. Went ex-dividend. The adjusted close is 85.87. It is trading up slightly right now at 85.99, but like you say, Joel, people come in there, they're buying this thing for the dividend. They might be trying to wiggle out here at the open.
Okay, moving on to our next component, Apple Computer, the world's strongest stock. Pretty hard to find resistance in this thing, but just give you support. 469.75 is where it would have to come down to fill the gap from yesterday. That would be the all-time high. 468.83 was the all-time high close. So you'll have good support in that area. Below the 468.83, your guess is as good as mine. Coming back on the upside, Dennis, maybe 475 today is in the cards.
Joel, I don't even know. This stock just keeps marching higher. This is, a move here where how do you call the top? I was trying to call it yesterday, saying maybe eventually this thing's moving to 500. Well, I got $5 closer yesterday. I think eventually it might go there. That seems to be a huge psychological number. It's almost like a magnet to it right now. It just keeps marching up $5 or $6 every day. So we're only 30 points away from here. We're trading up in the pre-market here again up another $2. 29 points away now because we're trading 470.94. So, Joel, if we do the show and stay on the air long enough, maybe we get there today.
What is going to make this thing go down?
It'll probably break out over 500. Everybody will be like, it's going to 600. Everybody jumps on board, and then it'll fall 100 points.
Okay, there's Dennis's prediction. IBM, another one of the Big Ten going ex-dividend, has continued its valiant run here towards the all-time high. Stymied at 194.14 yesterday. The close is going to be your first resistance point, 193.35. Sticking with our dividend theme here, folks looking to get out even after accepting that tasty. Major support Monday and Tuesday's low matching there at the 190, 197, 192 level. Should be good support today in IBM.
Yeah, like we were saying, the stock gets into the 194s at fine sellers. It did again yesterday, 194.14. Now it's adjusted down. It looks like it closed on Friday. It closed yesterday at 193.35. Now adjusted close is 192.60. It had that 75-cent dividend. So, but if it gets back up that 194 area, it's finding sellers. So I'd keep playing that trade until it doesn't work anymore, being a seller in the 194s. Above 195, all bets are off.
Okay, moving on to Chevron Corporation, sneaking its way up to 107.06 yesterday, pulling back to close at 106.83. Look for resistance here, point yesterday's high. Above that 107.06, Dennis, I don't see a lot up there until the mid 108s. Coming back on the downside, had two closes here at in the same area, 106.83 and 106.67. Use that as your swing area. If it can, in fact, hold the close, I'd be looking for it to test Tuesday's low, yesterday's low at 105.44.
Yeah, stock is trading up a little bit here, Joel, just a few cents, 106.86. 108, that's the number I'm looking at. I think it could eventually get there. Pretty big resistance if it can get up to that area. If it was to get over 108, then I'd start talking in the high 109s. But 108's your initial resistance. Expect some high frequency resistance in the high 107s.
Okay, Mr. Softy made a new high for the move yesterday at 30.49, running into those sellers at the psychological 30.50 level. Peeled back to make a new high close for the move at 30.35. So Microsoft has been holding that magical $30 level that we talked about earlier in the week. This is its third close above 30, perhaps confirming a move up to that May 10th high at 31.06. Coming back on the downside, we'll be using yesterday's low at 30.05 as support.
Yeah, I'll call that number 30.50, Joel. 30.48 is your new resistance level, so good number there. Pulling back, if it was to pull back for whatever reason, this $30 is finding some support. 30.05 yesterday was the low the day before. I think it was around 29.97 if I remember correctly. So call that whole area $30 support. New range for Microsoft, 30 to 30.50. Breaks out over 30.50. I start talking about 31.
Okay, GE. We bring good things to life. Went down, snuck down, tested the Friday and Monday's lows at 1892, 1895. That early weakness the market had. It held. Surprise. Popped up, hit 1920. Peeled back to close over 19. This is our third close over the $19 level, Dennis. So our new range could be 19 to 20. First, we got to get through the high of the move here at 1927.
Yeah, Joel, it's littered with size. I see size at 1920 on the offer. I see size at 1925. I see size at 1928. I see size at 1929. I see size at 1930. I see size everywhere on GE. It's got to blow through all that size before it can go higher. 1930 is where it starts to open up a little bit to the 1950 area. So I'd say above 1930, this stock could possibly move higher, but it's got a lot to get through there. But it can do it. GE trades a lot of volume, starts to make new 52-week highs, and maybe it can move higher, Joel.
Okay, Procter Gamble, pretty steady day yesterday. Found a home on the low at 63.37. Bounced up to close at 63.70. 291 was just above Friday's high at 63.86. So perhaps at $64 levels to be major resistance. If we do go into a sell-off mode, you have mild support at the close, 63.70. But our better support would be 63.37. That would be yesterday's low.
Procter Gamble, I'm just going to say that 64 number seems to loom large here, Joel, and there is some size starting to form there, so expect high frequency resistance in the 63.90s. Eventually here, though, this stock could take out that 64, and then it would open up a bit.
Okay, J&J, extremely tight range yesterday, Dennis. 39 cents, very unusual for that stock. Trading up in the pre-market almost half that amount, trading up 19 cents. 65.05, nice double bottom there for you technicians that looking to buy that 65 area. Let's use 65.39 as our swing number. That was Tuesday's high. Perhaps we come down and fill the gap and go back up to Monday's high at 65.58.
Yeah, 65 kind of bounced right off that area, 65.02 being the low yesterday. If the stock continues to bounce up, I'd expect high frequency resistance in the high 65s all over the place. We talked about this area before a month and a half ago, and the chart is starting to look the same. So if it was to get up there to test the 66, I'd expect that whole 66 area to be some pretty significant resistance and might give you an opportunity to try a short.
Okay, moving on to our final component. Pfizer made a textbook low there on hitting the 2080 number, which was also last week's low. Bounced up, settled at 2105. The high at 2110 should be a minor resistance. Better resistance would be Monday's high, Friday close area at 2120. But might be forming a bottom here.
Well, it's nice to see a double
Pfizer.
bottom there, Joel. But that trend is still ugly. You could draw a trend line here down from where 22 all the way down, and it's holding the top of that trend where we're getting those lower highs and lower lows aside from yesterday without when it didn't break the new low. But 2080, I'll call that area support. I'll go along with you on that one. If it was break down below that, then I would talk about the 2050 area. But I still think rallies are to be sold on this. I'd love this stock to get up in that 21.5 area and try a short up there because that was our old support level and that could become pretty decent resistance.
Okay, S&P is still hanging out at yesterday's high. No movers or anything to get us going in one way or another. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with our market movers.